Hello property enthusiasts, I'm Jessica, returning here for another season of the most in-demand district in Singapore where the well-heeled and expats love to have their residence at. So in this 5th episode, let us explore around. Wrong intro, wait! Take 2. In this 5th episode, let us explore Holland Village. So if you're wondering what's life like staying in one of the most chic, quaint and popular destinations that even Singaporeans love to shop and dine at, be sure to watch all the way to the end because you'll find this. Yes, that cemetery that you just saw right in the middle of a residential enclave here at Holland Village. Now, in the previous season, we've visited 4 districts that many expats love to call their homes at: Robinson Quay, Tanjong Pagar, Stevens and Keng Hill. Those are all in the core central region or CCR. For Holland Village, or what we locals affectionately call Holland V, while it technically still falls within the CCR, is right at the outer ring, which means it's one road away from the RCR. Before we continue, a like and subscribe to my channel is very much appreciated. Help me out, okay? Anyway, back to this video, I did a bit of research to understand why Holland V is called Holland Village. Well, it turns out that it has nothing to do with any early Dutch settlers here. This misunderstanding could have stemmed from the windmill that could be found above the shops here before this modern Holland Piazza building was built. In fact, the name is derived from Hugh Holland in 1907, who is an architect and amateur actor. I couldn't dig any more information about this person, so we'll just have to leave it as that. Anyway, long story short, Holland Village transformed from farms here and at the nearby Chitby estate into a district for the upper-income expat immigrants who couldn't really get into residences within the prime Orchard and Tanning areas. So by the 1950s to 1960s, this area became a rather exclusive private home development that only the rich can afford. Some decades back, Holland Village was also rather associated with one culture, the SBG or Sarang Party Girl. Made famous by Michelle Chong some 15 years back, this term was given to the local or Asian girls who exclusively date Caucasian men, most likely because they were seen to be much wealthier. Well, today, if you are here at Holland V like I was 2 months back because of a video shoot, I was surprised so much has changed. By itself, Holland V is very small. Technically, it's just a few rows of shop houses, the very old Holland Road Shopping Centre, and the very new One Holland Village Mall. That's it. But for the sake of this video, I'll expand the coverage to Chitby Gardens to the east and Ghim Moh and Mount Sinai to the west. Yet, within this small enclave, we can find some of the most affordable HDB flats, our public housing at perhaps 300,000 in price only, to some of the most luxurious bungalows that cost more than 50 times more at over 16 million. I think it's only here in Singapore where you can find such disparity in property prices within just a short 3-kilometer stretch of district, don't you think? So why do expats love to stay in Holland V? Well, I think the first reason is that Holland V is a quaint area. Well, maybe not so much nowadays as it became very commercialized that even tourists can be found visiting here. But my fondest memories of Holland V are the quiet cafes at the shop houses here, particularly one of the first board game cafes that used to reside here. I don't think it's around anymore. Also, if you've caught the recent news of one of the most iconic magazine stores, Tambi, which had to relocate or maybe even permanent closure due to a change in consumer trends, you'll understand why, in the past, Holland V was so much like staying in a small European town where it's not too far from the city, yet is quiet enough. So obviously, the second advantage is the amenities in the area, particularly the dining and drinking scene. I mean, by day, you see many of the cafes and restaurants here packed with trendy, beautiful and more sophisticated people. And really, there are so many nice cafes and restaurants littered all over Holland V that you'll probably take an entire year to finish trying them all. And we haven't even touched on those very cute cafes along Chitby Gardens too. Kinda reminds you of Tiong Bahru, doesn't it? Anyway, once the sun sets, Holland V transforms. The place now becomes a haven for pub goers and rowdier socializing. Streets are rendered undrivable as bar patrons spill onto the road, literally. Personally, I don't count this as an appeal if I live here, but I'm sure some residents will like such livelier vibes. In terms of local dining in the form of hawker centres though, there are no less than 3 here, despite the size of Holland V, and they are of the more popular ones in Singapore. You have the Holland Village Food Centre, smack right at the centre of this town. This has been the go-to eating place for the cheapest food, and it's renovated last year, so it's a lot cleaner than before. A few minutes walk away is the Holland Drive Food Centre. It also underwent a big reno last year, so now it's a lot brighter and airier. Here, we have the pretty famous clay pot rice store, which has received the Michelin beat gourmand. So queues can be up to 90 minutes at times. There's also another Michelin recommended kway chap and duck rice store here. But what's really hard to find nowadays is the store that sells $2 roast pork rice. You can see why this hawker centre is so popular. Third hawker centre is Ghim Moh Food Centre, which again has undergone a short renovation very recently. I'm not so familiar with this place, but I've read that the Michelin beat gourmand char kway teow here gets 1.5 hour queues too. And what's best, they are open for 3 mornings a week only. So obviously, you can see I'm more of a hawker centre kind of gal. Personally, I'm not so much into chain restaurants or boutique cafes unless I'm entertaining clients or guests. But honestly, I can see many expats have dived into our hawker culture too. I mean, why spend $20 for pasta when you can fill your stomach with a $4 plate of noodles that's arguably better tasting, right? Okay, still on the topic of amenities here, let's talk about shopping. In the past, there were only the Holland Road Shopping Centre, which is impossible to find parking and offers nothing except for the supermarket. Today, with the newly opened One Holland Village as the flagship mall, residents here will have nothing to complain about. This place has a very open feel with a very nice outdoor courtyards and spacious walkways. I liken this mall to some of those from seaside towns in Australia and Eastern Europe. Anyway, here, you can find all sorts of restaurants, boutique retailers, a CS Fresh supermarket, and even a car dealership. But one of the highlights of this mall is that it's pet friendly, so you see shoppers parading all breeds of dogs here too. Okay, enough of the amenities. Let's talk about the third and I think most compelling reason for staying in Holland Village, the location. Most importantly, we are near to the city centre. We are talking about maybe 7 to 8 minutes to Orchard Road and less than 15 minutes to the CBD. More dining and shopping options like the Star Vista, Rochester Mall, Dempsey Hill, and Gilman Barracks are also very short drives away. Being in this neighbourhood means you are also near to some of the best schools too. There are the very well sought after Henry Park Primary School, ACS International, Fairfield Methodist, Anglo-Chinese JC or ACJC, and Singapore Polytechnic, and all are minutes away only. In terms of international schools, there are INSEAD, Tanglin Trust School, Dover Court, and at least 5 to 6 more, all in the same vicinity too. Work-wise, One North is just 2 MRT stops away. And there you'll find all the biggest international tech, bio and media companies. The Ayer Rajah Tech Park and Science Park are also within very close driving distances. For green spaces to relax in over the weekends, you'll find the Botanical Gardens and the Southern Reaches conveniently located a few minutes of drive or a couple of MRT stops away. So, with these 3 reasons, I can understand the appeal of Holland Village to the higher income expat and locals alike. So now, where should you be staying in Holland Village? Well, as mentioned by itself, Holland V is very small. So, I'll be expanding to cover Chip B Gardens, Ghim Moh, and Mount Sinai as well. Let me start with the most exclusive and also the expensive option here, the landed properties. There are no shortage of landed houses available for sale here. For instance, there are many of these newly launched 999-year, 6-bedroom, 4,400 square feet bungalows that cost upwards of 12 million, 14 million or 16 million at Mount Sinai. But there are also more affordable semi-Ds like the 6-bedroom, 2,100 square feet one that is asking for 4.3 million only. Also, at Chip B Gardens site, you can also find new stunningly designed semi-detachers asking for 7+ million like these ones that's 5 bedrooms with a land size of 2,600 square feet. But note that landed properties are only eligible for purchase by Singaporeans only. Foreigners can only buy strata titles properties like condos. Uniquely, I found a 3-storey, 4-bedroom landed that's situated just opposite Henry Park Primary School. So, speaking about condos, within that same development, I've also featured a few condo units, one of which I like very much. It's a 2-story, 3-bedroom dual key that has a lot of potential to rent out. To view these properties, go watch that video after you're done with this one, okay? And in terms of condos, there's really no shortage of this type of properties here. There are at least 40 to 50 developments here, new and old, maybe more. For families, this 3-bedroom loft apartment at Holland Residences look very livable at over 1,900 square feet. The asking price of 4.65 million is a little high though, but at least it's a freehold. For something that's kinda on the wallet, there's this older 3-bedroom, 1,500 square feet apartment at the Serenade at Holland. It's not freehold, but at 2.65 million for its asking, we're saving some 2 million for our budget. But since we're talking about Holland V, how can we not showcase the condo that's literally on top of the One Holland Village Mall? Called One Holland Village Residences, this yet-to-TOP condo is the epitome of convenience because you have the mall and MRT just downstairs. Being the nearest development, price tends to be on the high side at around 2,700 per square feet. So a 2-bedroom is around 2 million to 2.3 million. What happens if you must live here but your budget is less than 1 million? Well, the HDB flats here are a lot more affordable. Prices can range from 300,000 plus for a 3-room flat to this very well ID, soon-to-be MOP 4-room flat that's asking for 620k. I think in today's market, this presents a rather good value. What if you just want to rent? Well, considering the rental market in Singapore has softened quite a bit compared to 2 years ago, you can now get a 2-bedroom condo apartment at 4k plus, such as this one, or very beautifully designed 3-room flats like this one for under 4k. My advice is just avoid this enclave of flats that surround this very old cemetery. I mean, I personally see no advantage of staying next to a cemetery or have a view of one out my bedroom window. But if you like the darker vibe, well, perhaps I can recommend a few cheaper rental options for you. So in conclusion, if you love to stay in a less busy CCR district that's still close enough to central Singapore, have plenty of amenities, been near to big tech companies and great schools, yet you can still enjoy good dining and shopping options that are offered at heartland prices, Holland V is really a very good option to be in. In any case, thank you for joining me on our tour of Holland Village in this video. It's really a lot of work to research and create this video, so do like and subscribe to my channel, okay? Because I'll continue to unravel more of Singapore's diverse neighbourhoods that people love to reside at in future episodes. Lastly, remember that for personalised advice on anything property related, partner with me on your property journey. For buyers, you get personalised services like what you see here, and for sellers, you get plenty of perks where I produce exclusive videos for you. In any case, I'm Jessica and I'm just a WhatsApp away to getting your dream home in Singapore. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.